What's the best formation in football? Whilst there's no single perfect formation, coaches swear by the 4-3-3. Here's why. Firstly, the setup of 4 defenders, 3 midfielders and 3 attackers provides probably the perfect balance, as each line is split fairly evenly, particularly in that midfield 3, which allows coaches to be very flexible. You could play a deep line CDM with 2 advanced and number 8s. You could also play 2 number 6s with a more advanced number 10. You could even have 2 10s in the attacking phase with 1 CDM. You could also have a flat midfield 3 across the middle. You get the idea. But each of these players could play a different role within the team. One of your midfielders could be the playmaker. The other one could have a more of a box-to-box duty. The other one could just sit in front of that back 4 and protect. Now secondly, the wingers provide natural width, where the fullbacks might be more reluctant to get up the pitch. However, there's flexibility for that too. If a winger inverts into the half space with his movement, then that is a signal to the fullback on his side to bomb up the pitch. And they can do that knowing that they will have cover. How? Well, the back line can naturally shift across and form a 3. These 2 number 8s can advance, and then you'd have your 1 CDM. And this would create a rest defensive structure of a 3-1. That there is your rest defence. Or if you wanted to make it even more solid, depending on the opposition, you could add another number 8 into the mix. You attack with 5 and you defend with 5. However, there's a slight caveat here. This might only work in certain situations, because if your left centre back isn't the most physical or the quickest player, then he could possibly be targeted on the transition by an opposition winger, and they will look to lump the ball down that side as soon as they win the ball back. Of course, there are cons with this system, just like any system. One con being in the attacking transition. So for example, it is natural that an opposition fullback will like to advance forward. Make the matchup situation, the winger would also need to track that run back. But the problem here is when they turn the ball over. So let's say all these guys are getting back to defend. You've got the striker up here, and then you've got the other winger also looking back to defend. Once they win the ball back, let's say they win the ball here, they now only have one real option to hit with a fast ball. And that is it. When they break out into the attacking transition, there is a lack of options. As a way to combat this, however, you could leave one winger up the pitch to play as that second striker next to the main number 9. And so now you have more support up the pitch, which could work depending on the numbers that they have down this side. But to play this properly also requires a lot of game intelligence. So let me know, what is your favourite formation? And if you want to develop your game intelligence, follow this page.